So about a month ago, I posted a video reviewing people's setups on our battle stations on Reddit. And the video actually did pretty well. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, so I wanted to do it again. I'm probably going to make this a series where we review Reddit battle stations and we'll see what kind of setups people have on there. Eventually, I would like to do this on Twitter where I make a post and people will send me their setups and I react to them there. So hopefully once we gain a little bit bigger of a following, we're able to do that. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so here we are on our battle stations. What we're going to do is actually review the top battle stations of the week. So I just hit the filter on top and then did it for this week. And we're just gonna see what people posted. So the first post is from Immortal Cupcake. They posted it 2 days ago and they said, very proud of this build, built it all myself. So let's take a look here. So as you can see, it looks like they actually literally finished this. It looks like everything was made themselves. It looks like they didn't stain or paint it at all. It looks like they literally just built it and moved it in. Surprised they didn't actually put like a finishing coat on it or anything, but overall I think it actually looks pretty cool. They did a little bed up top and then they had their setup below. Now my one concern about a setup like this is the fact that their setup is directly underneath the bed. I know that he made it themselves, so I'm sure he did a very good job, or they did a very good job of making sure that they made sure all the weight was fine and everything, but it would still make me a little nervous having my setup directly underneath a bed where something could potentially go wrong and collapse onto my setup. But let's take a closer look at the setup itself. So on the left side, they have these Lego sets here. Looks like it's mostly space themed, so pretty cool, pretty interesting. And then as we move over to the center of the office here, looks like they have two monitors, not mounted. Looks like they have a RGB keyboard here. Pretty nice, actually. It's not too bad. I wish they mounted it somehow. Thought that maybe making it custom, they would have maybe taken into account mounting it. I'm not sure if the dimensions work, but most of the time you can still probably fit a monitor mount here. It just makes things a little easier when you have to move stuff around, and it just makes a little bit more room on your desk. Looks like it's not super deep, so if he were to mount these, it would give him a little more room to put his mouse and keyboard there. I understand that not everyone's a low sensitivity mouse player. I am, but a lot of people don't actually need that much space, and he may not be gaming too many FPS games, so it may not be a big deal to him. Looks like he has a Corsair mouse here, and I'm assuming this is also a Corsair keyboard. Looks like this is actually an MMO mouse, so it looks like he has an MMO mouse, so it doesn't really matter that he doesn't have a ton of space. I'm sure it looks like he just uses the side buttons for MMOs, and it goes from there. And then looks like he probably has like a matching Corsair keyboard. Looks pretty nice overall. And then also he has a third monitor on the right side, and it looks like the PC is tucked away in the back. It looks like he doesn't have a side panel, so that's okay. If you don't have a side panel, you're obviously not too concerned with what it looks like on the inside, so I'm sure it's fine. And then he has a random drawer just hanging out here with some random knickknacks. I would have thought that maybe he cleaned it up, but maybe he's just not completely finished with this yet, since it's not stained or anything. It's just kind of weird to take a picture and put all your stuff there. Maybe he's just doing a mock setup and then taking it all back outside. I feel like that'd probably be a lot of extra work, but it is what it is. And then hopefully he works on the cable management underneath here. But overall, I think it's actually a really cool setup just because it's all self-built. It's pretty impressive. I know I wouldn't be able to do it. It's something I wouldn't mind learning to do. It's kind of woodworking and be able to make my own desk eventually. You'd probably save a lot of money. Well, actually, I don't know. Lumber prices are kind of insane right now, but it's pretty neat that he did this all themselves, or they did it all themselves. So pretty impressed overall. It's a pretty nice setup. I just wish they'd clean up some of the cables, maybe get a monitor mount, add some lighting, different lighting to here. Looks like he added some lighting underneath, but overall, not too bad. So the next post we're going to look at is from PC Battle Stations. It says my latest custom setup. So let's take a closer look. So this looks like it's actually also a custom made desk. It looks like they just used an Alex drawer on the right hand side here, and then I'm assuming this is custom made here. It could not be, I'm not sure, but then they have a custom leg here with some extra shelvings that they could maybe put some knickknacks on if they wanted to, and then it looks like they maybe had like a back panel, back wall design created. I'm not sure what exactly it is. I'm assuming maybe they made it out of wood and then painted it themselves, but it looks pretty interesting. It's definitely different than what you'd see most people put. Maybe putting some RGB light or something on here would maybe give a little more accent. Maybe that's just my opinion, but overall I think it looks pretty clean. Then they have some not very much stuff on the desk. It's pretty minimalistic, I guess you can say. Looks like they have a pretty beefy GPU in here. Let me take a closer look here. PC build looks really nice. I would just say maybe flip these fans to intake fans. That way you're drawing in fresh air, and because it looks like they have all exhaust basically. I'm not sure if there's fans on the front, but I would say, if you're going to be making a PC, make sure you have your airflow kind of bringing in a positive pressure. So you want more intake than exhaust fans, or at least make it equal. We have the same amount of intake fans as exhaust fans. And it looks like here they have some Corsair peripherals. I think this is a Corsair keyboard. I'm not 100% sure. Corsair mouse looks like, I'm not sure what mouse that is, but it looks not too bad. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe this is a speaker or something along those lines. And then I'm not sure what these are either. This is kind of interesting. And it looks like he has a curved LG monitor. Let's take a closer look I'm not sure what headphones those are. It looks nice, and then they have some art here. Looks like it could be potentially 3D printed. But overall, looks pretty nice. And the one thing I'm really impressed with is their cable management. It looks really clean. There's not a cable that you can really see. I mean, you can see one back here, but you know, if you're looking at it from straight on, you're not gonna be able to see anything. And then obviously from the side view, you can see he used cable sleeves here, which, you know, overall really nice cable management. You can't see this cable here, but I would assume if you're looking again at it straight forward, you wouldn't see it. But overall, pretty nice. I don't see too many issues here. Not too many things I would change personally. Overall, really nice setup. All right, so we're gonna jump in the next one here. This is from Ballad Boy. I don't know if I'm actually saying that right. This one is saying my updated 2022 Lush Setup. It looks like they have a little leaf emoji there. Let's take a closer look here. So this has been a pretty popular thing on PC battle stations over the last year and a half, where people like to add a lot of greenery to their setups. You know, it's a nice aesthetic. It adds a nice little cozy feel to a lot of setups. You know, green is just very comforting of a color in my opinion. It's one of my favorite colors. But overall, yeah, I think it's pretty decent looking setup. You can't really see cable management underneath. I would assume it's pretty good because it looks like he has some cable hideaway ties here. I don't exactly remember what those are called, but overall pretty nice. And then he has his monitor, and it looks like he also has a MacBook right here. Not too bad looking of a MacBook. I'm not sure what this keyboard is. I don't think this is a custom build. It could be, but I'm not entirely sure. Looks like he actually has a little coiled cable going right here. And then I'm not sure exactly what this is underneath, but that could be a power plug. It could be something for audio. I'm not entirely sure. He does have a set of headphones here. I'm not sure what headphones he's using. Then he has a nice little plant right here, more plant over here. And then let's look at closer look at his PC build. Not my favorite color. I think static colors in PC build, unless it's white, don't look that great to me, in my personal opinion. You know, everyone's a little different, but it looks like a decent build. I'm not sure what graphics card he has in there. I don't really recognize the brand. Yeah, overall looks like a decent build. And then he has a little bonsai looking tree on the top, which are pretty cool looking. Not my favorite thing, but you know, I'm not a huge fan of putting stuff on top of my PC personally. But overall, you know, if you like it, that's all that really matters. And on the right side, looks like he has some gaming consoles. Looks like the new Xbox, and then also a Switch, which is pretty nice. More plants. I think this is a salt lamp right here. Some interesting art here for the fox. I'm not sure what that's from, but pretty cool. And it looks like he has some anime posters, Akira, and then some more plants up here. And then he has a window here, which adds some nice natural lighting. And overall looks pretty nice. And I will say props on using an office chair. If you're thinking about upgrading your chair from a gamer chair to an office chair, I highly recommend it. I know it can be kind of expensive, but definitely recommend it. And then also just, I noticed up here some more anime pick posters. You know, I think it would look a little nicer if you frame these up here on the side. I get that frames can kind of be expensive, but I think it's worth it. You know, it makes it look a little cleaner in my opinion, but overall, nice setup. Looks like they cable manage nicely. Has a little coaster here, nice desk pad. And yeah, overall nice setup. So the next one we're gonna look at here is Cozy Little Corner from Nikita's Papa Dupe Polos. I don't know if I said that right. I'm sorry if you do happen to see his video. I'm sorry for butchering your name. I'm sure I did, but overall looks pretty cool. Let's take a closer look. So looking here, I want to take a look at this stuff. I've actually saw this post earlier in the week, and this is super cool to me. So he has Star Wars figurines, and it looks like he has, you know, TIE fighters over here, and then he has some Rebel X-Wings, Y-Wings, all that coming over here, going to battle. And also looks like he has a Slave One here for Boba Fett's ship. Really cool. I think this is actually really unique. I've never seen anything like this before. Pretty impressive to add something like this to your wall. I think it's really cool. You know, overall, I think it still looks really nice. It adds some nice flavor to it. Obviously, a big Star Wars fan to want to do something like that. I can relate because I'm also a big Star Wars fan. Then he has some Millennium Falcon, and then also Milky Way Transit Authority. I'm not sure what that's from, but that's kind of cool. And then let's take a closer look up here. Looks like he has some Technic, and then also a music sheet from the Imperial March. Really cool. Some books, some plannery, you know, just a lot of different knickknacks up here, which I think look really nice. It looks like he has a Lego plant pot over here, which is actually pretty cool. Something that I haven't seen before, which is pretty neat. And then let's take a closer look here. I'm not sure what monitor he's using, but it's also pretty cool. And then he also has some Lego here. Looks like it's like a clock, which is really neat, or maybe it's the date. It might be more the date than anything, but really cool. Has a digital clock here, Xbox controller, headphones, really nice looking setup, pretty cool. Let's take a look at the cables. Actually, cables are all hidden here, which is actually really nice. I'm glad that he's able to hide them. My biggest gripe is always having cables hanging down and being able to see them. I know that looks like he may have ran them through the wall, which is kind of random right here. So it looks a little weird. I'm glad that he hid the cables. I think it adds a nice little feature. And then like over here, he actually has a little screwdriver kit. I'm not sure, maybe it's for when he's doing hobbies or something along those lines, but pretty neat. And then an office chair, and it looks like he actually has more headphones over here. I'm not sure what those are. It looks like they may be Bear Dynamics. I'm not 100% sure. Does he have a razor right here? That's kind of interesting. Then he also has some speakers on the side, some Lego car, and some other car models. And then looks like This I think is for audio. I'm assuming this looks like it could potentially be part of the stack, but overall pretty nice. And then he also has a little plant on the inside with a window here, and I'm not sure what this mask is from, but it's actually pretty neat. But yeah, overall I think this is probably my favorite setup so far, just because it's unique. You know, I'm not a huge fan of large monitors myself, but I think overall I think this is a really nice aesthetic with the little Star Wars scene up here. I think it just looks really nice, and it's kind of cozy looking. This rug looks like it could be pretty comfortable to put your feet on. And then I think this is a dog bed, I don't know, but overall it looks pretty nice. All right, so we're gonna take a look at this last one here. This one is called Proud of My Pink Setup, and it's posted by Electronic Muscle 46, and let's take a closer look at it. So overall, a really nice setup. I would assume this is probably a female setup, but you know, we're not judging here on this channel. It's overall a pretty nice setup. They have some speakers here, some pop figures, and then it's like they have a keyboard. I'm not sure what keyboard this is, but it looks like it has custom keycaps on it. And then they have their PC on the left side here, as well as a laptop, and then they're just a single monitor. And then they have, I believe these are nano leaves as well. So lights are expensive and they add up a ton. So, you know, props for them. I'm not the biggest fan of these galaxy lights. I've been seeing these a little more on our battle stations where people have been integrating them into their setups. I'm personally not a big fan of it. I don't really like the look of it. I think it looks a little cheesy, but I'm also the type of person that doesn't like inflatables and Christmas decorations. So just my personal opinion. But overall, pretty nice setup. Looks like they have a pink light up RGB mouse pad, and then they have their, I'm not sure exactly what mouse, maybe that's a G Pro. I'm not entirely sure. And then I'm not sure what kind of laptop this is. Looks like it might be a MacBook. Yeah, it looks like it's a MacBook Pro. And then they have a little clock here with some pop figures and some other random speakers. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe for holding up your phone or something along those lines. Look like that might be a phone stand. And then they have some pop figures in their PC. I'm not the biggest fan of putting pops in your PC. Obviously, I'm a big pop collector, as if you see my setup tour, obviously I like that a lot, but I'm not the biggest fan of it myself. But the PC looks pretty clean. Looks like they cable managed in there nicely. There's some custom cables. Looks pretty nice. And on the left side here, you can kind of see some random stuff. They looks like they have some more pop figures, some books. Might be Sesame Street up there. I'm not entirely sure, but pretty cool. And unfortunately, you can't see the cables underneath, so I can't give them props for hiding cables or, you know, maybe need to clean up cables. But from what I can tell here, it looks like they have a few random cables they could probably clean up. Maybe if you get a nice coiled cable, it'll add a nice aesthetic to the setup. Maybe a pink one. I think it would look pretty nice. But overall, really nice setup. It's like it's a nice little cozy gaming setup for, you know, anyone that likes pink. But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty clean setup. Okay, guys, so that's the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna try to make this into a little series. I would like to make it to where I'm reviewing your guys' setup down the road. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. My links for my socials will be down below. And yeah, if you guys like the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.